Chapter 581. On the surface, nothing seemed amiss. The conversations were all seemingly innocuous. However, through Yudhir's watchful eyes, Kishir's manner of dealing with Kachyan was glaringly apparent. At the moment, Kishir was treating Kachyan in the same manner as Kachyan usually treated others. Although it wasn't an exact match, Kishir was considerably more moderate. The essence was strikingly similar. The subtle and capricious way of piercing through people. During Kachyan's reign as emperor, everyone had been on edge, constantly wary of his unpredictable whims that determined who would be ousted and who would die. Yet, when filtered through Kishir's hands, all that remained of this terror were mere clownery. At the end of the sharp blades that the nobles once wielded to each other's fears, there was really only such naivety. Kachyan probably wasn't oblivious to what Kishir was showing him. The young crown prince couldn't hide his bewilderment and anxiety as he realized that these people he'd regarded as simple and laughable were pushing him into unfamiliar territory. Despite attempts to mask it with a forced smile, his agitation was clear to those with keen eyes. Still, he's managing to hold it together. The moment their eyes met, Kachyan seemed to visibly shrink, but soon gritted his teeth, regaining his posture. He then quickly excused himself, claiming that his unfinished sentence had merely been an expression of concern for the emperor and empress, and that his current physical condition was the only reason for his abrupt stop. Although one could sense palpable rage when he looked at Kishir, his external response wasn't bad. I see. Your Highness hasn't been well recently either. Yet you have come all this way to show concern for both of them, reminding us once again how precious family is. Kishir responded, also feigning understanding and moving on. Family being precious was an ironic term between Kachyan and them. Indeed, health is more important than anything else, the emperor picked up, shifting his gaze towards Kachyan. His eyes conveyed a lot of unspoken messages. Regardless, the meal continued. From the moment Kachyan mentioned health, Kishir changed his conversational strategy. He ceased to shake things up and started to let Kachyan lead the discourse. It was done in such a sophisticated manner that even Kachyan himself probably hadn't fully caught on. Questions, then answers, more questions, then more answers. From the topic of health, which Kachyan had himself introduced, the natural flow of questions and answers were subtly geared to extract longer answers from Kachyan's side while divulging almost no information from the emperor's side. Kachyan's guard was slightly tilted in a different direction, having already been rattled once. Kishir's skillful control of the conversation space was so masterful that Yudhir even found himself contemplating whether his rhetorical skills had nearly reached a divine level. Ooh, I love some divine level rhetorics. It's almost like he's testing the limits of how much Kachyan can endure. Kishir acted as if he had just discovered the human named Kachyan for the first time. It was completely different from the way he had maintained an emotionless distance while feigning friendliness during their previous encounters within the imperial palace. Sometimes like a clueless fool, and sometimes like a cunning politician who had swallowed 100 snakes. He had endlessly dragged Kachyan into a whirlpool of emotions by skillfully bringing the emperor and empress into the conversation. The ceaseless stream of dialogue flowed, where each believed they were asking the other astute questions. So engrossed in the conversation was Kachyan that he only realized how much time had passed when he heard that dessert would be served shortly. He was slightly flustered. Already? To calm his excitement, he took a deep breath. The dessert looked as beautiful as a painting, but he was not in the mood to eat. Duke Paleta kept diverting the topic from the emperor's health. The emperor emptied his teacup 3 times, and I could smell herbs in 2 of those cups. He must have been medicated. It was unmistakable, even from close proximity, that the emperor was unwell. The empress couldn't hide her discomfort every time Kashtian seemed to ask a question. Why did they avoid discussing the emperor's health but keep asking about mine? I said I'm still undergoing treatment to dodge any definitive statement about my recovery. The crown prince was well enough to resume official activities, but he was still receiving treatment which the emperor must surely be aware of. Yet the incessant questions about whether he was fully recovered made him uneasy, and he withdrew a step. Crown Prince? Just when his head was spinning, the emperor, seated before his desert, called out to him with a gravely somber voice. The reason I wanted to hear about your health today is that I have been thinking of gradually delegating tasks that are difficult for me to handle myself. Kashtian blinked, taken aback by the unexpected statement. What do you mean? There was a recent incident where a monster appeared in the Sun Palace. Fortunately, I was unharmed. However, it made me realize that it would be good to have someone to help out in trying times, the emperor continued. But now that we have confirmed that the crown prince's health is still not optimal, we are discussing passing on these tasks to Duke Paleta. For a moment, Kashtian doubted his own ears. Pardon? Not all tasks that one wants to undertake can be taken on. Health is primary condition. Duke Paleta meets the requirements to act on behalf of the emperor and is in good health, so there should be no problem. Only then did Kashtian understand Emperor Kalusa's intentions. How cunning. The focus of today's dinner wasn't the emperor's health, it was Kashtian's. By constantly drawing attention to his state of health and then turning the tables like this, they were able to stab him in the back. They had forced Kashtian to admit he was still not fully recovered and were now openly planning to give Duke Paleta official power. Could the aim of his recent stage activities have been leading to this? He had expected that as long as Emperor Kalusa was alive, he would never easily relinquish his position. But their alternative was Kishir Lahore. Though many might scoff at his decision, Kashtian didn't see it that way. He hesitantly spoke, casting an indifferent gaze at Duke Paleta, who seemed to always be grinning like a flower, blissfully ignorant of impending calamities. Of course, such a decision should naturally have the agreement of others. As the crown prince of the empire, I find it difficult to consent. Does this mean, despite your condition, you will undertake all the responsibilities I assign to you? The emperor retorted, his eyes unreadable behind his glasses. Kashtian responded carefully. If entrusted, I will certainly do so. It is the duty of a crown prince after all. Duty. The emperor quietly repeated the word, then leaned back in his chair, muttering, Very well then. The task I had intended to entrust to you involves a critical matter related to the palace's security. To begin with, the culprits behind the recent monster intrusion had yet to be caught. I expect you to resolve this matter beyond any doubt. Kashtian's eyes widened momentarily. Whether he reacted or not, the emperor continued. Feel free to mobilize anyone affiliated with the Sun Palace. Thoroughly investigate the palace guards who initially investigated the incident, the cavalry, and other palace personnel. Show no mercy to anyone suspected. You have asserted this as your duty, so see it through. Kashtian was still unaware that the perpetrators of the monster invasion in the Sun Palace were his own healers, as Duke Diarca had yet to mention it to him. Nevertheless, nobody in the empire doubted that Diarca was behind it, Kashtian Lahore included. Suddenly, Kashtian recalled that he had not informed Duke Diarca that he would be dining with the emperor today. If he accepted this mission without first informing Diarca, would the Duke not become suspicious, especially since Kashtian had already once attempted to free himself from Diarca's influence? A coarse breath slipped through Kashtian's lips, his gaze shifting towards Duke Paleta. Kishir remained silent, merely smiling brightly. Castian caught sight of him whispering something to his dark-haired subordinate and felt his head about to explode. I love how they are playing with him like a little mouse. After Castian has hastily left without uttering another word, Emperor Calusa stayed at the spot where the boy had been for a long time. In the game of tactics, there is neither a perfect black move nor a perfect white one. It means there are no absolute enemies or allies. The more one obsesses over colors, the deeper they fall into the trap. Emperor Calusa's brother Kishir had skillfully exploited this concept, delivering a devastating blow to Castian Laor's mental state. This had been his entire scheme, written down and sent off that morning. Although Castian was still not of age, the emperor felt it was precisely for this reason that he could not allow him to stay in his possession any longer. He had tried to frame Kishir using the Apeto family and used that to break free from the Diarca family's influence. Although the attempt had failed and led him to spend the next few months in a state bordering on madness, he had never faced a court of law as a criminal. It was because Diarca had ultimately sacrificed those who had worked under him instead of the crown prince for the crimes committed. When the trial was unfolding regarding the horrendous experiments House of Apeto had conducted on the awakeners above water, quick confessions came from those who were to die in place of the crown prince under the water. False confessions claiming that they had done everything, not the crown prince. Then mysterious deaths in prison followed by swift closure of the case. Thanks to Diarca's swift and silent maneuvering, the crown prince was officially absolved of the title of murderer. People only remembered the crown prince's failed assassination attempt and gossip from the house of Apeto. But does escaping the blame for a crime make one innocent? Could Castian Laor attempt to make Kishir a murderer be erased? No, crimes don't disappear. Everyone present knew that fact. Even the crown prince knew this. Hence, he quietly accepted the protection from Diarca he had once tried to shake off. Regardless of his true feelings, he continued to maintain outwardly that he was innocent, merely recovering from a brief illness. He never once apologized to Kishir or to those who had been harmed because of him. Not a single official expression of regret had been made. He had merely fled into his palace and until now had done nothing but vent his anger. And there he was, audaciously reading the shadow of death on the emperor's face, an utterly covetous gaze. This was proof of how lightly Castian looked upon the emperor and Kishir. How could someone raised by Diarca's hand not belittle the emperor? Castian and indeed Diarca were still letting their guard down. Had they truly been vigilant, Castian would not have come here today with Kiol without notifying Diarca. Had he given prior notice, Diarca would have neither sent Castian to this gathering nor allowed Kiol to accompany him. Furthermore, the emperor was extremely pleased today because he could confirm from Castian's attitude towards Kiol that although he was in a position where he could not abandon Diarca, he was not fully yielding at heart. Had the crown prince been content and arrogant under Diarca's care, it would have been difficult to find a way in. But if not, the story changes. While conversing with Castian, the emperor reassessed what kind of person this young man was. He was still too young to perfectly mask his expressions and gaze amidst confusion, and sometimes such a gaze revealed more to an observer than 100 words could. Castian's crimes were already heavy. Given the chance, he was someone who could commit more. Perhaps that was Kishir had specifically summoned Castian. The eyes of the emperor silently turned toward Kishir. In a brief silence, their similar gazes shared an understanding. It's getting difficult for me to pronounce this dude's name. Castian. I keep saying it Castian. It's a lot easier for me to pronounce Castian than Castian. Oh gosh. I will swap between those two. Just ignore it, please.